And we are live. Hello. Welcome to this podcast that we are doing. I am Secret Agent P. You can call me Allie. And I am joined by DJ.
I'm DJ.
Yes,
Yeah, just DJ will work for now.
And I'm also joined by Rylot.
Yep. Bonus points to those who can figure out the anagram for that name.
Yes, I'm sure that will be very difficult.
You're right.
Okay, so we are here to talk about Pokemon Scarlet and Violet games by Game Freak. So we have a lot of things to talk about today, and all three of us have beaten the game and seen the end credits, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so we can pretty much talk about everything, and
Yeah, we'll be saving spoilers for the end, and we'll have a spoiler warning.
Yes, we will. Okay, so let's start off by talking about each of our relationship with Pokemon, so the viewers, listeners can get an idea for where we are when we talk about these subjects. Me, like DJ, have been playing Pokemon since we were like 8 or so. You know, red and blue, and I pretty much played all of them until Omega Ruby came out. That's the first Pokemon game I never finished, and I kind of just dropped off of Pokemon from then. I did play Moon, but I didn't finish it, and it wasn't until Legends Arceus that I felt the series actually started changing and reforming itself. So coming off of Legends Arceus, which I really enjoyed, I was actually looking forward to Scarlet and Violet. And while I didn't play Sword and Shield, a lot of it still disappointed me. And Scarlet and Violet, yeah, I was just really looking forward to it. Go to you, DJ.
Yeah. Well, like Ali said, I've been playing since the beginning. Red and Blue came out when I was around 8 or 9. No, it would be about 8. So yeah, Red and Blue were not. I didn't get them on release date, but I got them within the first year of them coming out, and I played pretty much every other game starting on release date. And yeah, I never dropped off. I've had my ups and downs and opinions for the series, but
you've continuously just stuck with it though.
Yeah.
Okay. Rylot, you.
Yeah, so my history with Pokemon's actually interesting. I watched the cartoon / anime, however you want to phrase, like the original series, right? But I actually didn't touch a Pokemon game until 9th grade. And it was Red. My friend had brought a Game Boy to school, and I messed around with it for like 5 minutes. I was like, oh, this is really cool. But I didn't actually like play a Pokemon game until the next year when I had shifted states, and one of my friends in my computer class was like, hey, do you know anything about emulators? And I'm like, no, what's that? And I played Pokemon Silver at school. And then I was gifted Diamond by Allie. And that was the first game that I had actually owned.
I don't remember that, but I'll just take your word for it.
Yeah, no, you had an extra copy. You gave it to me because you really wanted me to get into Pokemon because everyone in the group was playing Pokemon.
Okay.
And I had
that
no clue.
You know what?
You
know what? That does ring a bell now. It's been a long time. Go on.
And to be clear, Rylot isn't like a lot younger than us. Pokemon Red was not a new game when he was in the 9th grade.
Yeah. Yeah.
No,
About what
like,
year was that?
2006, 2007.
Yeah.
We're all around the same age. I'm the youngest one here.
Yeah. But yeah, no, that copy of Diamond actually had me save up money to purchase my own DS and my own copy of White when it came out. And from go ahead.
No, go on.
Yeah. So from there, I played until Omega Ruby. It was the first game that I got really bored with. And I bought Moon. I quit because I hated how handholdy it was. And I pretty much didn't touch a game until Sword and Shield, which I surprisingly liked, minus all the weird tech issues with that. And then Scarlet and Violet. So my history with it.
I find it interesting that we were both really bored by Omega Ruby and then didn't finish Moon. We both did that. That's interesting.
Yeah, like not to detract from the Scarlet and Violet conversation, but a quick note with Sun and Moon. I haven't tried like Ultra Moon, right?
I didn't either.
Like the story, I felt like could have been really cool, but like by the third island, when I'm constantly having control of my character taken away for some stupid tutorial or whatever, I just couldn't. That's what's made me stop playing the game.
Yeah, Sun and Moon were very handholdy.
Keep that energy for later in the show where we will be discussing hand holding.
Okay.
Because I feel you. I really feel you on that. Okay. So let's get into the meat and potatoes about Scarlet and Violet. Now, as of recording, the games have only been out for like what 12 days now. About.
Feels longer than that. Might not be, but it feels longer.
Right.
So from the get go, there's been a lot of complaints about bugs and performance issues, and I want to get this out of the way before we like dive into the full game. So while I have experienced some bugs, nothing major. I've had one game crash. What have you guys experienced bug-wise?
You go first, DJ. Mine's going to take a while.
Yeah, okay. So for me, bugs and performance are very much like two separate issues. The internet definitely seems to be playing up the actual bugginess of the game. More than likely, you're probably only going to encounter one or two like bugs from normal play. One bug that I encountered, I actually wound up out of bounds inside of the cave. I forget the name of the cave. It's the one with
It doesn't matter. Go on.
Yeah. Anyway, basically I dropped down, I landed on a Pokemon, a battle started, and it decided that the best place for me to be standing for this battle was out of bounds.
Nice.
Like I was literally on the cave's ceiling, and I couldn't get back into bounds, and I had to fly.
At least you could still fly.
Yeah, at least you can fly.
To note, it seems that a lot of these bugs and glitches that everyone's experiencing tends to happen when the game is in docked mode for whatever reason. So, like, I've had the issues where my Pokemon just kind of come into existence and are invisible. My mount's been invisible. I haven't gotten phased through terrains. I have gotten stuck in terrain. I've had to fly to other places. I can't see anyone in my world doing any sort of Pokemon battles or their gym battles or really anything like that.
Yeah. On that note, that's the multiplayer, the Union Circle. Yeah, that definitely seems to be not as good as it should be. There seems to be some and again, I think that's performance issues as opposed to actual bugs where
I
you
agree.
can't see what's going on there. I think that has to do with like server lag and stuff.
Yeah, I think whenever they were designing like the servers and the communication with the servers, they probably weren't expecting this to be like the most sold Pokemon game of all time, and thus were solely unprepared for it.
It's also Nintendo servers, so
Right.
There's that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As far
Yeah, I guess since we are switching to performance issues,
I just want to add I did finally have the while I was flying on Koraidon today, he decided to turn invisible. Kind of freaked me out for a moment, but as soon as I landed, he was there again. So
yeah,
but
yeah, I've had Miraidon turn invisible on me once, and it lasted for like 5 seconds.
But
So
performance issues though.
yeah, like I said,
lordy.
bugs and performance are kind of separate issues. The bugs are actually kind of minor. The performance, on the other hand, there's a lot of performance issues.
This is a very choppy game.
It is.
Yeah. The anime. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, before it's sidetracking completely into performance, I've been kind of following the bugs with this game, and some of them are very hilarious. There's this one thing where your eyes bug out of the player's skull when you're in multiplayer. And so, you know, like those old Looney Tunes where their eyes just pop out of their skulls, they're just huge, and like what, the Aruga moments or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, that's been a thing. Your player characters morphing into giant bodies has been a thing.
Yeah.
There's been a lot for
like
us.
Yeah, you can find all of these on the internet. So
yeah. For us, we haven't experienced that much bugs, just mainly performance issues. Anyway.
I've experienced being teleported out of bounds once, and like one invisible wild Pokemon. That was very weird.
So note, I have played almost exclusively in a handheld, and this could be why I haven't experienced as much as maybe you two have.
I mean, I've been playing almost exclusively docked, and like I said, I've had basically the 2 bugs.
Yeah, but my performance may also have been a little bit better, but you know what? It's still choppy as hell.
Yeah, it's very choppy. There's a point very early in the game where you're in the classroom and just every student is in PowerPoint mode.
Yeah.
They are just flipping through 3 frames as they're swinging their legs underneath the table, and like that shouldn't be that that shouldn't be that intensive to the Switch. We were able to play Xenoblade 1 and 2,
and Doom Eternal.
Doom Eternal is exactly what I was gonna bring up. Like if it can play Doom Eternal, why is this a problem? Are we in agreement that it's not a hardware issue and it's a coding issue?
Very much. It's not a hardware issue. It's that the game itself wasn't optimized.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It doesn't utilize its resources. It's wasting resources, and that's why it's choppy.
And there is a danger to playing this game.
Yes, go on.
Yeah. So I say danger because it's legitimate danger. Where your Switch will decide to incinerate itself because of how unoptimized this game is if it's in dock mode. I should know, as mine almost killed itself. Like, I don't know if, like...
Well...
Because here's the thing, right? When I was playing this game in handheld mode before I finally decided to dock it, my Switch did not get very hot. It didn't, like, the back of it was not burning. There was none of those issues. When I decided to put it in the dock and I decided to start playing, about 10 minutes later, I noticed the smell of burning plastic. So I went over to my Switch, and it was so fucking hot, pardon my language, that I immediately undocked it and was very concerned. I turned it off. It still works, but it ramps up now far more often. The fan, you can hear it, and it does not sound good. And, yeah, I've been trying to not... Like, it's still playable, right? And as long as I have it in handheld mode, it's completely fine. But I can no longer play my Switch dock for fear of actually having it catch on fire. Now, whether or not that's a Switch issue or not, that's up for debate. But the fact is, a unoptimized game should not have had my Switch trying to kill itself.
Yeah. Like, I think that might be more of a personal Switch problem than necessarily an everybody who plays this game problem. But it's definitely not a game to push if the Switch is going to have problems, this is one of the games that could exacerbate those problems because of how unoptimized it is and how much it pushes the Switch more than it really needs to.
Yeah, and the only reason why, for me, that I bring it up the most with Pokemon, aside from the fact that, like, that's the current issue that I'm having to order parts to fix for, right? But it's like, I've played far more complex and more inducive games on my Switch, and it's been completely fine. For whatever reason, Pokemon, of all the games to put this into an early grave, was the game that put it there.
Well, maybe your Switch can rise like Graveyard can.
Well,
let's let's move on past performance and get to the game now.
Oh, okay.
So, like many Pokemon games, but before it, you still start out in your house, and your mom's there, and you're supposed to see a professor. Except it's not a professor this time, is it?
Yeah, no, the headmaster of the school, or director, rather.
Yeah, director.
Yeah. Director of the school. Yeah.
Same thing.
Cabell.
Yeah.
Who is your neighbor? Because of course he is. That always seems to be the thing, isn't it? You're always neighbors with the professor and the rival, and
we really do have a nice house on the beach with like no other neighbors really.
Right? Yeah, no, we've just got these. There's just these two, what's the word? Villas?
Yeah.
On the beach.
So
very swanky.
So what did we think about the tutorial area?
There was first of all, it's so freaking big. You can do so much before getting to the main town, Mesa Goza, where the school is. Mm-hmm. There's even a small town along the way.
Town more like a pit stop.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, I liked it, but to jump all the way back to like where we are exiting our house.
Go on, yeah.
We have to take that long walk to the director's house.
I didn't mind it. I liked interacting with the starters.
Yeah, no, I think everything like, hey, here's these 3 starters, walk with them, experience like the area or whatnot, that's fine. But restricting you to slow walking movement only for
It was a
the
little
game
bit
to go, go ahead and run now.
right. Yeah, it was a little bit annoying that it didn't let you walk your full speed. Though but here's why. This is basically something that I've noticed. Later on. The Pokemon that you send out are not always fast. So it limited your walking speed because it wanted you wanted you to walk with the Pokemon, not leave them in the dust where normally they would return to the Pokeball if they were in Let's Go mode.
That's a good catch.
Yeah.
True. Something they could have done to alleviate that though is maybe have 3 separate battles where you have the starter as your Pokemon. Like you start up with the fire, the second battle will be the water, and the third battle will be like the grass starter. So you can kind of get a feel for them before you pick.
I feel like that just adds a lot of
Fluff.
filler to the starter area.
I mean, so is slow walking.
Anyway,
I mean,
Battles don't take
adding
more
more,
than 2 minutes.
not make it less.
how do we feel about getting the legendaries at the beginning, even though they don't technically join your party yet?
Right.
I think it's really cool. I would have loved to have had it as a side mission to go capture like a cycler and have that be your mount for a little bit before getting the legendary. But I mean, it's a minute detail.
Well,
yeah, that could have been fun. I feel since it's in the starting area.
I feel the same way, especially because I still miss having a bike, and I still want a bike, and I will bring this back up for a reason later when we talk about spoilers.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I liked having the legendary with us earlier. Although, and I guess this is something that I'll have to talk about with spoilers later as well. So we'll circle back to that.
Fair enough.
Any other quick thoughts of the tutorial area? I want to say real fast that it wasn't long, and I appreciated that.
It was just big enough, in my opinion, where it gave you the sense of the exploration that you're going to be doing. You got to meet not necessarily a ton of different Pokemon, but a variety of Pokemons to add to your team and kind of build it up before you went to the school. It was nice to kind of see like the little pit stops in the area. My only issue, and this is something that they should have thought of when designing the area, is the potential of getting yourself stuck.
How do you mean?
So this is something that I end up experiencing, and I know others have as well, but I was able to get out of it. There's a small little pond that has this island in the center of it.
I know about this.
And you can throw your Pokemon to battle it. And because the game loves to teleport you to a location when you're battling, it'll teleport you to that small island. Your mount doesn't have the ability to swim at that point.
And and honestly, you don't even have your mount necessarily at that point if you haven't gone to Mesa Goza yet.
Yeah.
So you can get yourself stuck there. Now, mind you, you can wait for a Pokemon to get close to the other side, throw your Pokeball, you battle it, you run away. Or if you've come across a Pokestop, then you can fly there. However, if you ignore the Pokestops, you don't have your mount, and you go to that island, you're stuck. You're soft lock. You have to restart.
No, you're not. You're not soft locked because you can fly back to your house.
Can you fly back to your house?
Yes.
Yes, you can fly back to your house, and you can fly anytime starting from the beginning of the game. So it's actually very hard to soft lock.
Like I said, if you've not hit a Pokestop along the way.
Well, luckily, it's going to be pretty much impossible for you to miss your house.
I've seen.
Yeah, you start in it, but I'm saying.
I've seen many people on TikTok experience this and they don't realize they can fly yet, because honestly I didn't even realize I could do that until after I left Mesa Goza the first time.
Yeah, I spent like the first 2 hours of the game before going to Mesa Goza. I probably caught most of the Pokemon that were available in that area. I say most because there was a whole section of the area that I didn't even realize I could go to at the time, and basically filled a box with wild Pokemon without doubling up on them either.
So how do we feel about the starters? We each chose a different one. I chose Sprigatito, and I named it Celeste.
I chose the little adorable fire guy.
He's so adorable.
Wait, Coco. He's got the cutest face.
Did you give it a nickname?
Gee, there was Latin for Fire King. I forget what it is now.
It's fine.
Yeah, Rex Ignis or something. Rex Ignis.
Yeah, Rex Ignis. Okay. That's what it was.
And DJ, you had Quaxley?
Yeah. Now, so of course, my first thought was, of course, I was gonna name it Dewey from
DuckTales. Yeah,
thank you. When Alex suggests you should name it after a Digimon. So I just slapped Mon to the end of it, and Dewey-mon and I have just torn our way across Paldea.
Mm-hmm.
We should have done Jet, Turbo, and whatever that other one was.
Booster, I think.
No.
My name could have been Turbo.
My name could have been Turbo. Anyway, so I actually love all three starters for once, and it was actually a bit difficult for me to decide, but my initial choice was the cat, and I ended up sticking with the cat.
Yeah, interestingly enough, I tried to not look into this game as hard as I could, so I had like no stakes into anything. I honestly didn't even really care about the starters or which one to pick with. I pretty much just went with whatever people don't pick, that's the one I'll pick.
And honestly, you got a good boy there.
Oh my god, that's probably been like one of the best fire starters in a while. I know if Fernape is reigning supreme right now, but like, damn, this guy for just this particular gen, he's really fucking good.
So, Nemona.
Favorite rival in a while.
It took a while for her to warm up on me. A while in game, same thing. But yeah. I turned around and I love her. She's great.
And she's definitely better than our last two rivals, who have actually basically been the same rival. I know, right?
It's also weird for me because I've never had a rival choose the starter that was weak to me before.
Yeah, that's something they started in Sun and Moon, I think.
Technically X and Y. You had two rivals. Well,
yeah,
actually Black and White.
Yeah, well, Black and White and X and Y both had two rivals.
Yeah.
You only have
That's what
one
I'm
where
saying.
everyone's
It's
black
like you
and white
want to talk
too.
about like
Okay?
a rival picking an opposite. That technically it would be those games. If you're thinking singular rival,
Singular, just singular.
Yeah, it doesn't count if there are two rivals,
Yeah.
and so of course they would get the one of them has to be the
yeah,
starter.
but it's still technically a rival.
I guess.
Yeah, no, but it doesn't count.
Anyway, she has a strong personality, doesn't she?
Fight me.
Yeah,
Fight
I'm
me.
not gonna lie. I honestly do feel like that passion that she has, though, where it's like, oh my god, someone's finally getting out my skill level. This is exciting.
I've definitely had that feeling in like other hobbies. So I can definitely relate to that, but I didn't like really get on her level, in my opinion, until our final battle. And I was like really into it then. I'm like, yes, this is what I've been preparing for the whole game. Yes, let's go.
Yeah, that fight was surprisingly more difficult than I imagined it to be.
It was so much fun.
Yeah, there's good hype there. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, the schools.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be completely honest. I've done one classroom and I've done nothing else. I've been playing hooky in that in that school.
Yeah, I've done all of the school stuff. It's actually it's kind of cool. It teaches you game mechanics, which if you're a veteran, you know like 90% of it because it didn't change.
Yeah.
But it does teach you some of the new stuff.
It also goes over the changes that they've done, even if you are a veteran.
Yeah.
Like, pricing, I guess. I can't remember the specific instance of the class, but the crits, or they changed the crit modifiers and whatnot.
Yeah, of course they did that a few generations ago. So.
Yeah, but if you're coming back to the series, it's nice.
Or skipped a few generations, which is basically the same thing you said. Never mind. How do you like?
But of course, if you don't take the classes, then you don't get the benefits of learning all of these stuff.
I like that it gave me the freedom to not have to take them.
True.
So, interestingly, I was kind of hoping for a little bit more Persona influence when it came to the classroom stuff.
I have no context for this, but go on.
Yeah, essentially, you have your normal school day. You go and you maybe participate in like 1 or 2 different classes and answer a question and whatnot. Pretty much as quick as what Pokemon provided here. But then you get to kind of like run around the school and do extra activities. / during the evening, you obviously get, your gameplay and stuff like that. And I was kind of hoping for more of a similar classroom setup, I guess.
That kind of reminds me of like Fire Emblem 3 Houses.
Yeah, I was kind of just thinking that.
And that's called a gameplay loop. And you know what? If this game had a gameplay loop with a school like that, I think I would have enjoyed it. But
yeah, that could have been fun.
But hey, maybe next time. But did we like the school setting?
Yeah, well, it's all about the freedom. The gameplay loop is whatever you make of it.
Yes, it is. So, did we like the school setting?
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
Wasted potential.
I
can
thing
see that
kind of bothers me is that like when you click on the terminal and it asks you where you want to go and it shows where all of these places are on the map, and you realize that you could probably walk to all of those places from the lobby. Like they have stairs to different floors, and there's actually like exits to each floor that would be going to the different wings. Except when you get there, it just opens up the map and asks you where you want to teleport to again.
It's just
so you can't actually explore the school.
It's just a bunch of rooms.
It's just a bunch. I mean, it's always just a bunch of rooms, but
it's teleporters. That's all it is.
They're not connected. The rooms aren't connected. They're all in the void, and you can only access them via universal teleportation map.
Yeah. That's another point, kind of. I like the idea of the school setting, except it's only a backdrop. It provides nothing to the overall story. You could have literally have came out of the back of a moving van and achieved the same story.
Well,
yeah.
To a point. This brings us into the 3 paths. And the three paths are to become the champion, do the Elite Four, the traditional quest. You go
the victory road path, as they call it.
Then there's the Titan quest, and then there's the Star quest, where you challenge Team Star. And without the school backdrop, that one wouldn't make sense.
Yeah.
I like. You could also probably have called it. That's fair. Like, yeah. It can be rescaled with tweaks and whatnot.
It can be.
Yeah.
Can be.
Yeah, but I think that the Team Star's story works a lot better being a student.
I gotta say, I was really surprised with Team Star, because the last few games I played, I didn't care at all about the teams, but this one, I actually ended up caring a lot about it.
Yeah. Because the way they set it up is like, it's just a bunch of bullies, why do you care? And then as you kind of play through the story, it's like, well, that's not the case.
Yeah. And go on.
Yeah. Team Star ends up having a lot more depth than Team Skull did.
Yeah, right?
I'll say.
Or Team Yell.
I'm assuming Team Yell's Sword and Shield.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were basically just overzealous sport fans.
Yeah, pretty much. Now, I love the fact that we get different storylines to participate in.
Yes.
I wish not all of them were mandatory.
Oh my god, yes.
Yeah, the fact that you had to do all 3 paths in order to unlock the final, the crater with the legendary and all that.
Like it kind of defeats the point of an open world when it forces you to do everything.
Yeah, I wish that they had just made that part of the Titan path.
It makes sense because it's basically tied to it.
It basically, I mean, they're kind of all tied to it, but it's mostly tied to the Titan path. The Path of Legends. It's even in the name, Path of Legends.
A great comparison that DJ brought up a few days ago. What was in Breath of the Wild, you can do anything, and if you want, you can go straight to the center of the map and do the end game right there. It doesn't force you to do any of the quests. But now imagine if it forced you to do all 4 Divine Beasts first.
Yeah.
No, what if it forced you to do all 4 Divine Beasts and find a certain number of Koroks and do a certain number of shrines?
Breath of the Wild would not be as highly praised then.
Right.
Yeah, but to be fair and to be devil's advocate here, with Breath of the Wild, you have more of an opportunity to actually just replay the game. Pokemon is kind of a one and done when it comes to its story.
That is true.
I mean, for the story, of course, we're not really part of the challenge run community, but it's very big for Pokemon. It's one of the biggest replayability for Pokemon.
Nuzlocke.
Yeah. Well, not just Nuzlocke, but yes, that's one of the challenges.
Yeah.
Uh, I also
Basically,
find
roguelike.
I also find it interesting because it gave us all this room, and it gave us 3 distinct paths we can do. But we can also just go frolic in the grass and have a picnic. And all 3 of us kind of ended up doing our own thing and experiencing the game in our own way. Whereas I really took my time before I started doing anything. And I avoided gyms because my past experiences with Pokemon made me hate battling. And I just wanted to befriend my Pokemon and explore the world.
Yeah. The reason why I even started doing gyms as early as I did was because I was getting really annoyed with capturing Pokemon and not being able to control them because I needed a badge.
Same.
Like I'm seeing, like, able to access all these higher level areas, and like I get it, right? Like I think a badge should be a quick way to do it, but I also think that you should just be able to sit there with the Pokemon and over a course of, I don't know, either mini games or time spent with them, whatever, you be able to actually like control them. You earn their respect, and you can actually start using them on your team.
I can get behind that.
I mean, it's pretty much what Ash did with his Charizard, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Ash also had like 8 or 9 badges by the time his Charizard started obeying him, so I don't think that's comparable.
That's besides the point. Shut up.
I mean, yeah, but that wasn't really the focus of that particular story, right? It was just the fact that, like, him and the Pokemon had to get to know one another and understand one another for that mutual respect to actually really happen.
Yeah, but alright, so anime storytelling and gameplay mechanics being different.
We're getting on a tangent.
Yeah, I understand from a gameplay mechanic standpoint why they made the badges work the way they did. In fact, I love the way that they made the badges work, where it only looks at the level that the Pokemon was caught at, and as for whether or not it obeys you, which is great because previously any Pokemon that you caught would just always obey you, but previously you couldn't go straight to an area with level 50 Pokemon, try to catch them, and then run back to the first gym. So doing it this way basically makes it so that you can't cheese the game with.
But with it being open world and all the freedom, I should be able to if I want to.
And you can try if you want to.
I can try, and then have 3 out of every 4 attacks not go through.
Right. Well, get badges.
Yeah. That's the point I was making, is the fact that, like, I like the badge system as a fast track, right? But there should also be a secondary system for those that are not focused on badge collection.
So,
yeah, I guess I kind of see where you're coming from there, considering, like, if you are doing the other 2 paths, then you wouldn't be able to catch new Pokemon, that even if they're weaker than the ones in your party. Which, and I do get that. It's just, it's a gameplay thing. It's a gameplay mechanic.
And we're here talking about, pros and cons.
Yeah.
And like Rylot said, and this goes for me, I only started doing the gyms to have my Pokemon listen to me. I shouldn't be forced into that.
See, I didn't have that problem anyway, because all of the Pokemon that I was using I caught at a low level, and I trained them up to that level. So.
And but that's for you. I was exploring all these areas, catching Pokemon, And oh look, I found an Axu that won't listen to me.
Yeah, that's pretty much my story. I was just exploring because I'm like, I'll wait to do the gyms until, I find like a team of Pokemon that I like well enough to actually, start doing that path line. But I couldn't because I was forced to go and collect a badge just to, be able to use even like a baby tier Pokemon just because it was, number high.
Yeah. Basically, you were so attracted to the openness and the sandboxness that when the game reminded you, hey, by the way, there is a little bit of some goals that I set for you that I kind of want you to do, you're like, why is this game that's so open making me follow certain goals?
Yeah, like we should have the freedom.
I don't mind being forced to obtain certain goals, right? But asterisk to it, because go back to your Breath of the Wild example, right?
Yeah, go on.
Like, imagine having to sit there and complete like XYZ objective in order to even be able to damage Ganon. Like, imagine you had to sit there and go do like 8 different quests in order for the Master Sword to even like damage him.
Yes, imagine if you had to do a bunch of shrines in order to even draw the Master Sword. Oh wait, that's how Breath of the Wild actually works.
But no. But the Master Sword isn't required.
The Master Sword isn't required. That's true. Just like catching high-level Pokemon that don't obey you isn't required. You have again defeated yourself.
No. But the game lets me. The Master Sword. Yes. You have to go out of your way in order to get it. But in this game of Pokemon, which is all about catching Pokemon and using Pokemon, and it lets me catch these high level Pokemon. If I can catch them, let me use them.
Yeah. Like, I don't have to be able to use them right away. There should be like a secondary thing to do besides the gym battles. Again, I mean, not that I dislike gym battles. I absolutely love battling in this game, but the option should exist.
Now, I'm just glad that it didn't do the Sword and Shield thing of being, oh, this level 30 Pokemon that you can two-shot with your starter is too strong for you to throw a Pokeball at.
I mean, yeah, granted, it's a step forward, but...
I mean, it's still got to try to balance its gameplay. It doesn't want to be the easiest Pokemon game ever because you can just go chuck Pokeballs at a level 50 Pokemon and then breeze through the entire campaign.
But if I want it to be the easiest, let me do it.
No, it's...
I think there could be a way to do both, right? That fact that like maybe the max level that we could capture would be 35, and then we would have to go do a badge in order
to do. That's kind of what it did.
Yeah, but much lower numbers.
So we obviously have some passionate opinions on this topic. I just want to add that I didn't want to do the gyms because I was skipping trainers because like I mentioned before, from the last few games, I had become jaded from Pokemon battles. They bored me, and when I started doing gyms and I got back into the swing of things, yes, while I was having some fun with it, it was still slow and tedious.
I think we were all skipping trainers because trainers were relatively boring compared to catching a new Pokemon that we haven't caught yet, or going to the next town, or getting that item over there, or
yes. But the actual concept of battles, though, it's still slow and still needs work.
It's definitely been improved significantly.
Yeah, not that this is gonna sound weird. I don't think the battles themselves are slow. They only go as fast as however strong your Pokemon is, right? What bothered me was how slow the animations were. It felt, I don't know, it actually felt slower in this game than it did in Sword and Shield.
It's the frame rate. It's choppy.
I didn't really notice frame issues during battles so much. One thing I have noticed is that like glowing effects do not agree with the grass.
No, they don't.
They have a weird checkerboard plaid transparency to them going on instead of like an actual transparency or even just staying opaque.
Yeah, there's been a couple times where I thought that Pokemon was shiny, but it was really just the lighting being really weird in shadows.
Why is that there no noise for shiny Pokemon like Arceus had?
Right? Why did they take that away? Like Arceus said, that's so right.
Oh my God! Now, and I saw that this on TikTok, and I'll just bring it up here. Here, you know, I'm staring at two Ghastlies, and it's like, are you purple or are you purpler? What? Which one of you is shiny?
I don't like the muted colors of the 3D games. It just
it definitely doesn't help when shinies look are barely different than the regular.
Yes. So real fast of the three paths, you know, story, gameplay, however you feel, just which one was your favorite? For me, that was the Titan Quest.
Really?
Yes, I really liked the Titan Quest.
I definitely like the story of the Titan Quest. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Team Star also had a really good story though, so it's a toss up between the two.
I really liked Arven, which we'll get to in a minute.
Okay, so for me, I did not give a shit about the Titan Quest until I saw that Arven was actually like doing it to help his Pokemon.
So like the second or third one.
Yeah, I felt like it was just a huge waste of time. I had no personal stake. I didn't like Arven. I didn't care about him whatsoever. He was just an annoyance to me.
So it upgrades your ride.
So, Rylot, you didn't like the Titan. Which one was your favorite? Which quest was your favorite?
Believe it or not, it was actually the Star story.
I believe it.
No, I believe it. It was pretty good actually.
Because I can't really decide between the two.
Well, I think it's obvious which one was the least interesting.
Yeah, I think that does pretty much seal it, does it? You can't really say that the Victory Road gym really had a story. It was Gym Challenge.
Yeah.
If Rival showed up, Elite Four showed up. They're like, "Hi, we're the Elite Four. Can't wait to fight later."
Going back to what I said earlier about the school being wasted potential, I really felt the gym battles should have been your final exams, where you sit there and go through a class, whatever it is, and then you have to use what you've gained in order to like beat, say, the first, you know, quote unquote gym leader and get your badge. Have it be like merit badges you earn at like private schools or whatever.
Yeah, one thing
that could have been interesting.
One thing is definitely for sure. It would have been awesome if the gym leaders were more tied to students and teachers.
Yeah,
I'm
conflicted. I don't think there was a single gym leader that was a student or teacher.
I'm conflicted about it because, well, okay, I can't actually get into it because it's kind of spoilers, so I'll wait.
Okay.
Overall, the idea of the school was interesting, and I think with the in-story knowledge that we have, could have been way more interesting. But perhaps the school setting wasn't the best option for an open world Pokemon game.
That kind of makes sense.
Yeah, now that you said it,
because being open world, I'm just playing hooky.
right?
You have no attachment to your schoolmates, to
I don't.
your teachers. You have nothing to do in your dorm room, which is like the best dorm room to have.
Yeah, that is a terrible waste.
Why can't we decorate that room?
Why would they give us a dorm room that is literally only good for sleeping? Like, what the heck? At least have it gradually fill up with souvenirs as we complete events in the different stories or something.
I have a question. Can we view our badges anywhere?
I haven't been able to find it.
God, I knew it.
I don't think you can.
I knew it. I hate that. Every game before you could.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're getting near the end, and we need to talk about spoilers. So let's go through these next three topics. So the hand holding. We briefly mentioned it at the beginning. There's not a lot of hand holding in this game, and thank God for that.
Right.
Yes. It's probably the only reason why I even continued on in the game.
Yes, like the hand holding in Moon is what killed Pokemon for me.
It really did.
The only hand holding I can even really think of is this is how you catch Pokemon because we have to do that, and that was it.
You didn't even have to catch the Pokemon. You could just kill the Pokemon in the game. It's like, whatever. Pokeballs.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Oh yeah, there was a brief moment where they were like, here's a Pokeball, go catch it. See, it wasn't even a tutorial. It was, here's a Pokeball, go do it.
Oh yeah.
So it didn't even show you how to do it. It was just, here, it's up to you. Play the game.
I didn't even notice that. You're right. Yeah, so there really wasn't hand holding.
Yeah, there really wasn't. If there was hand holding anywhere, it was probably along the gyms. The rival tended to make sure that you were fully healed before battling you.
That's okay.
Yeah, that's just new age Pokemon.
And
where they make sure you're good to go for every battle.
Yep.
And honestly, Arceus did it, and I liked it there, and I like it here because nothing irked me more than when I played like classic red and blue, gold and silver, and it's like I entered a town, and if I didn't and if I stepped on the wrong square before hitting the Pokemon Center, oh look, it's a rival battle and we're battling now, and I'm like, no, my Pokemon are all damaged. Stop this.
I like that though.
There's an element I like, but overall, it's annoying.
Yeah, that's rival ambush.
Yeah. There is kind of an easy solution to it.
I mean,
they can simply add 2 difficulty modes, where one is just story mode and one is just old Pokemon, where all it really does is just kind of affect when you heal, when you don't heal.
Yeah. So, how do we feel about the new Pokemon? Now, there's not a lot, but I like them.
Lechonk.
Yeah. Most of what I saw, I was okay with. It was gonna sound somewhat heartless. As cool as some of them were, it kind of took a little bit for me to even like kind of care about the new Pokemon, or
I
even
love
like really
Pokemon.
start using them.
So
Like go ahead.
So I'm gonna bring up my team here because aside from 2 Pokemon, I'm using all new Pokemon to me, and I actually liked that I ended up using new Pokemon I wasn't used to. Made me rethink my team, and I am in love with Armor Rouge. While I wanted Ceruledge, I have Scarlet, so I got Armor Rouge, and it became my MVP.
So while you're bringing up your team, something that I'll mention is I actually had to force myself to use the new Pokemon because I wasn't particularly interested in some of the newer designs. Like Lechonk had a funny name, right?
Yeah.
But the design wasn't enough for me to go, oh, I'm curious as to what you can do. No, it was just a pig.
Yeah.
And if I'm gonna have a pig, it's gonna be Spoink, goddammit.
Yeah, and his stats weren't all that impressive either. Like he really he couldn't keep up to
yeah
when we get.
I will say one issue I had is because I didn't play Sword and Shield and I didn't really finish Moon. I also apparently my game time in Moon is only like 12 hours or 15 hours, so like I really didn't play it much. So some of the Pokemon I encountered I've never seen before, but they weren't actually new, and that includes Toxtricity, who was on my team.
I wanted to use them on my team, but the problem that I came with was I had too many ground type weaknesses. And thus I promptly went back to using Kilowattrel, I think it's the final evolution of the electric bird.
Yeah.
Which I really liked. Also was surprised that he only had the one evolution.
2, actually. But yeah, so my team was Quaquaval, my starter. I also picked up a Palmy and fully evolved it, which is freaking amazing. Best Pikachu clone by far.
Who is your MVP?
I guess there's kind of 3 answers to that, but
pick one.
Honestly, Palmot was one hell of a sweeper.
Right.
But if ever I was in a tight spot, this next Pokemon, Clodsire, the evolution of Paldean Wooper, Clodsire could always tank a hit or 2 while I healed up my team.
And what did you name it?
Ah, yes. The Clogfather.
Rylot, who was your MVP?
So there's 2 answers to that, because there is a point in the story where it dramatically changed.
I mean, yeah. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, but like I'm talking 180 change is how hard of a change it was.
Go on.
So for me, my starter pretty much carried me. God, I want to call him Feraligatr, and I know that's not his name. Like Feraligatr has always been my go-to water type when I can have him.
Skeledirge.
Yeah, Skeledirge was pretty much like my MVP up until the Elite Four, and I've had this Gardevoir as a Worlds on my team for 90% of the game, up until the Elite Four. It's like all the way to Gardevoir, and I kept dying in one hit. it was the
I
most
also had a God of War. Didn't have that much issue.
She was just useless to me. She couldn't tank anything. She just kept dying. So I eventually just started using her as switch fodder because she just couldn't do anything. However, for whatever reason, when I walked into that Elite Four, my Pokemon were like level 45. She was the lowest at 39. And that's when I found out that the Elite Four are, much higher level.
Yep.
But through a series of like shenanigans, she soloed that first entire Elite Four member.
Nice.
And I'm like, oh, okay. What? And then ever since then, like, I guess a fire awoke in her soul or something. She's destroyed everyone I've come across when she's been on my team. And I don't know why. It's just after that battle, she became godlike, and I'm like, okay, cool. You're staying on my team. It's fine. Don't kill me, please.
Usually, if Gardevoir is in the game, it ends up being in my team. And when I found a Ralts in the tutorial area, I was like, awesome, let's go. But Curlia kept dying. And so when I eventually got Charcadet and it was Psychic, I'm like, Curlia, you're out. Charcadet, you're in. And then Armarouge ended up being my MVP. So worked out for me.
Yeah. I see Tinkatop would be my replacement for Gardevoir just because.
Yeah. Tonka, whatever, seems to be a good Pokemon. So how do we feel about the gimmick of this game? Terrestrializing your Pokemon.
Yeah. I like it solely better than Z moves. I think Z moves were a cancer upon this community, and I'm glad that they're no longer here.
Z moves is the bar to beat. Z moves was awful.
Yeah. I am sad that Mega Evolutions have kind of just hit the wayside. I think that they had such great potential for bringing weaker Pokemon to the forefront.
They were completely unbalanced, though, is the issue.
Only a little.
Some were, some weren't. Like the Beedrill one was completely fine. Scissor's Mega Form was completely fine. But then you have, like, for those that are fine, you have the Mega Rayquaza. So
like legendary Pokemon getting Megas, definitely strong. Definitely like that's what's unbalanced. But I mean, considering that they're always late game anyway.
The other issue with Megas was not every Pokemon got one, which is why they switched to Z moves and Dynamax in this, because every Pokemon could have it.
Yeah. Well, with Dynamax, they had Gigantamax, which not every Pokemon got.
Mm-hmm.
Fair.
Though they don't have that for Terrestrialize, but I definitely I do like Terrestrialize. It's very interesting.
I'm curious to see what the competitive scene does with it.
I like.
Yeah, we'll never see Shedinja with it.
Probably not. I like that it's not overbearing. It's not required. It's just neat.
Yeah.
And that's my favorite part about it, and it doesn't look stupid either.
Yeah.
I know it's a small thing, but the dumb dance your character did with Z moves.
Yeah.
Also, didn't you have to like equip something in order to even do it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to give the Pokemon Z Crystal.
Yeah.
Of the type of move that you wanted to Z form of.
Yeah, here Here, you don't have to do any of that. That you can just do it. That's the best. If you're gonna do a gimmick, that's the best way to do it.
Yeah. It makes me wonder if their original intent with Mega Evolutions was a system more like this, where it's a slight buff to the Pokemon and not like a major overhaul.
I actually kind of know the answer to this. So
Okay.
so originally Mega Evolutions were actually going to be just introducing a fourth stage of evolution to Pokemon. But the issue in testing they came up with is like an example, Charizard. While people liked Mega Charizard, they proceeded to miss Charizard because that was their favorite. They grew up with it. They still wanted their Charizard. So instead of making permanent fourth evolutions, they created the concept of Mega to have it be temporary.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I could say the same thing about Oshawott. It's like, oh wow, Oshawott my favorite, you know.
There certainly have been starters where the earlier forms were the more aesthetically pleasing ones.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed. But like this was the original concept, and it turned into Mega Evolution, and then they just introduced gimmicks from every game since.
I would have actually enjoyed a fourth stage evolution for some of the Pokemon.
I could probably enjoy it too.
Yeah, I feel like it really should be given towards the weaker Pokemon that have been kind of left to the wayside. Like, you know, example, say Beedrill, right?
Yeah, I was actually just kind of thinking that there's certainly, because there's certainly an imbalance with Pokemon that some of them like Beedrill, they just don't compare to, say, the third form of a starter.
Mm-hmm.
More Pokemon should get third forms and regional variants.
Tauros in his regional variant was honestly, I love it so much.
I don't use it, but I like seeing it. I like seeing the brown Wooper. Primeape got an evolution. Who knew?
Oh, Annihilate has found a permanent place on my team with how strong he is.
I will say one thing. I was kind of thrown for a loop when I found out that Wiglet. For some reason I thought Wiglet was like not. For some reason, even though it wasn't named Diglett and it was named Wiglet, I thought it was a regional variant and not a different Pokemon. I thought it was still a Diglett, and I feel feel dumb for that.
Yeah, I kind of like the convergent evolution thing that they
it's fine.
did for some of these. Yeah, because there wasn't just Wiglet. There was also Toad's-Cool and Toad's-Cruel.
That one's just odd.
That one is odd.
I like it, and I want them to keep experimenting, but please go back and add third evolutions to Pokemon that should have it.
Yeah, maybe.
Speaking of, when I was mentioning like Kilowattrel earlier, does it actually have a third evolution, or like...
I have no idea.
No, Kilowattrel is the final.
Okay. It's just based on what you said. I was
like,
wait, is there some special way to evolve it? Like, what am I missing here?
Yeah. The way you mentioned it, DJ, kind of made it sound like it had third evolution.
What?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if it was just a misspoke, but me and Rylot both thought that.
Okay. I mean, I didn't even talk about Kilowattrel, but okay.
Anyway, wait. This is all recorded, so we can prove it later.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Rylot mentioned Kilowatt Roll and wondered if it had a third evolution, and I said it doesn't. But that was a while ago, and that was basically the only thing. The only thing I ever said about Kilowatt Roll was that it doesn't evolve.
And anyway, this is all recorded. We'll prove it later. Anyway.
Okay. Anyway.
Wait. Let's get into spoilers. But first, did you like the game, and what do you want to see going forward? I'll start. I was really looking forward to the game, and I was just wanting to have fun with Pokemon again. And even with the bugs and performance issues, I can safely say I had fun. Fun. And
yeah, I definitely enjoyed it.
And when I'm having fun, the performance issues can take a back seat. You know, they weren't game breaking. A lot of people are comparing the bugs to like Cyberpunk. I don't know, but I had fun with the game. I enjoyed it. I even enjoyed some of the campy stuff, and I would like to see more. My only real issue is, now that I've done everything and the credits have rolled, other than filling my Pokédex, there's nothing else to do.
There's really no end game.
And so I feel like I'm wandering around aimlessly in this world that honestly feels small now.
I wouldn't say it's small by any means, but
like I said, it feels small. Not that it is, but it feels small because I have nothing to do in it now. Now, because it forced me to do everything before the credits. There is
a little bit post game after the credits.
So for the future, I would like them to work on the performance issues. And I would like Game Freak to maybe. I know once they have a release date set, they can't delay it, but maybe set the release date purposely back a bit. Work out the issues, and yeah,
it wouldn't kill them to only do a main series Pokemon game every 2 years instead of every year.
And maybe give us side quests to do.
Yeah.
So give us side quests.
I don't think side quests really is fighting the trainers.
Okay, so overall, I liked it. I would just like to have side quests, maybe, and just fix the performance issues. Did you guys like the game?
Oh yeah,
I liked it. Right, like, while I didn't necessarily care about like the stories, and I thought like some of the cities were just too big for the amount of like NPCs that were in the city and whatnot. I enjoyed it for all of its issues, and it's kind of surprising to me. I feel like my one overall complaint is how they decided to set up the end game when they've had many better end games for previous generations of games. Where the hell is the world like tournament shit?
Yeah. Where is that? That it's not here.
What they give us is pitiful compared to like.
There's no battle tower.
Yeah, there's no battle tower. There's no like facing off against Cynthia, or downloading like world champion teams and battling against them.
Even though that's literally only happened in one game out of 9 generations.
It's still a fantastic feature and something that really should.
It definitely is, and they should definitely bring that back. It's only they haven't used that idea in like 4 or 5 generations. They should really bring it back.
Just even then games after it still had a battle tower of some kind. This has nothing.
Yeah, there's always been a battle tower. I wonder what's up with that.
So
that's so weird.
So Rylot, you liked it. You want a battle tower. DJ, what do you want?
I don't know. It's
Okay.
good.
It's good.
It needs polish. It definitely needs polish.
Yeah. I feel like there could have been a really good end game had they actually focused on the school setting.
Yes.
So more interaction with fellow students and stuff like that outside of just the paths would have been cool.
So with Legends Arceus kind of bringing me back in because I absolutely love that game, and I'm gonna say it. I think that game's better than this game. But that being said, I still love this game, and I think I can call myself a Pokemon fan again because I'm looking forward to more Pokemon stuff.
I wish we could aim the Pokeball as well as we could in Legends Arceus.
I would like to be able to catch Pokemon without having to battle them.
I also wish we had as many outfit customizations as we did in Legends Arceus.
Or even in X and Y, goddammit.
Yeah. That game probably had the most customization.
Yeah, I loved X and Y's customization.
Okay, let's get into spoilers now.
Why are there only 4 outfits?
So,
all right.
Okay, spoilers. So
yeah, so this is the spoiler alert, spoiler warning. We're going to be talking about the the very very ends of the 3 paths and everything that happens after that.
Yeah. So I want to start off by talking about Arven, because he is absolutely okay. I want to say he's my favorite character, but actually Larry's my favorite character. Give it up for my man Larry.
Okay, not really a spoiler, but okay.
I relate to Larry.
I do too.
Yeah.
Listen.
As 30-year-old Pokemon fans, I think we all have Larry energy going on in our lives right now.
And like the reason it's a spoiler is because Larry comes back, and I wasn't expecting that at all, and I loved it.
Oh yeah, where I love how they foreshadowed it too, with Staraptor being his last Pokemon.
And yeah, that actually caught me off guard a little bit when I was doing the gym, was because I'm like, oh, he's got a dual type, that's cool, and then he's like, no, it's not a dual type, and I'm like, you bastard, I just switched in an electric type.
Right. Also, Larry's the only gym leader that beat me.
Really?
He beat me. So.
Get there too early or something?
According to the recommended list I looked at after I beat the game, he was my 3rd gym. And he's normally 5th.
Yeah. Oh. That is a actual complaint that I have with the game. You can't do the gyms in any order that you want to.
Yes.
I mean, you can.
No.
But
can you though?
Not realistically.
I mean, you certainly can.
Rylot wants what I want, which is level scaling as you go.
Well, we all want that.
Because in the Pokemon air quote Pokemon universe, the gym leaders are supposed to send out teams based on what they think your skill level is. So it makes sense that they would scale up with you. But yeah, I wish that was a thing. But God, Larry's my hero. He's my spirit animal. Let's go. But,
also, can we put an F in the chat for all the people he murdered that were eating their meal when he decided to?
Yeah.
Yeah, there was just a restaurant full of customers, and then they just like, boom, they're gone. It's a battlefield now. Larry, what have you done?
So, have either of you been home to like talk to your mom since doing everything? She doesn't mention she doesn't mention shit.
She gives you 2 sandwich recipes.
Oh boy, but she doesn't like mention you're a champion.
Yeah, no, she doesn't give a shit.
And it upsets me because like if I remember correctly, you were always like greeted like, oh, congratulations, blah blah blah. Nope, not this time.
So I found the gym badges.
Cool,
Oh, yeah.
cool. After we're done recording, tell me.
Okay.
But so, while I want to talk about Arvin and getting to the end game, I'm gonna actually talk about Nimona first because, God, after you become champion and she challenges you, I was like, oh my God, I just became champion. I don't want to, but when you actually go to Mesogoza to fight her, and she's like, ah, yes, I knew you would be here, or whatever, and it's like me and you, champion to champion, all these people have gathered to witness this match. Oh, I was so hyped. I'm gonna be completely honest, I didn't give a shit about any battle, but that one got me hyped, and I was like, yes, let's go. I am a Pokemon trainer.
That battle is the only battle that I actually had to go back and try because her first Pokemon just countered my team.
I was defeated 3 times. I was defeated by Larry once, and Eri, the fighting team star, won twice. But Nimona in that final fight, it inspired me, and I was legit like, okay, your next Pokemon's this one. This means I need to bring out this Pokemon and use this move because I'm gonna kick your ass and let's go. And I had a lot of fun with it. I don't know if you can tell, but it brought out passion in me that I hadn't had in the game until then.
Yeah, I didn't have any really difficult battles. I was level 60 by the time I got my 7th badge, so.
Yeah, I purposely left myself under-leveled to actually feel like I was going to have a challenge in the game. And even if I wasn't under-leveled, there were some surprising challenges that the game threw my way that I was not expecting.
Sometimes, yeah.
Newer Game Freak to do, if that makes sense.
I wasn't intentionally becoming over-leveled. I was just catching every single Pokemon.
Yeah, right?
Which still rewards you with experience.
My starter started becoming, like, at one point, my starter was like 7 levels higher than everyone else. So I actually benched it for a while, and I'm glad I did because I didn't want my starter to become like the one strong Pokemon, and I wanted a more even team, and I'm glad I did that. Especially once I actually like finalized what my team was, I was like, "Yep, let's go." Do we want to touch on Team Star?
Oh, I love the failed fake out that they tried doing.
Yeah.
With Clavel.
Yeah.
That threw me for a loop. I'm like, wait, that makes no sense.
Exactly.
Right.
And I figured out who the big boss was the first time she gave us supplies.
It took you that long?
Oh,
well,
I suspected in my first encounter, but I also was kind of hoping that she was a red herring and that Game Freak was about to play me.
So
nah, it's Pokemon. They don't have red herrings.
So I'll say this. I figured out Penny was the big boss pretty fast. It took me a little bit, I think think it was like either after the second team star or during the third that I'm like, Cassiopeia is the big boss, and that means that's Penny.
Right.
Penny. But I didn't understand why Penny was doing it until like after you beat her. That's when you kind of find out. And it still doesn't make a lot of sense to me, but I still enjoyed the story of Team Star.
Yeah, she's essentially just, you go in, you break up the group, and she's hoping that, like, with nothing for them to rule over, you know, quote unquote, that they just go back to school, because what else is there to do?
Well, she specifically mentions everyone will follow the code of the group, and in the code, if you get beat, you're disbanded.
Yeah.
And that's what she was banking on, but she couldn't do it on her own.
Yeah, to get them to go back to school.
Yep. And the fact that they were bullied and then defending themselves were seen as the bullies. They were kind of gaslit, and like stuff like this actually happens for real.
Yeah. Honestly, I love the team. My only complaint with their design, Mela, I think is how you say her name. I'm not sure. The fire girl, right? Her boots. What the hell?
I love them. They're so dumb. I fucking love them. I love the punk aesthetic though.
I love how they actually gave her a bit of a different walk animation.
Yeah.
She's kind of walking like a penguin.
She can't walk in those boots. It's hilarious.
So
yeah.
So surprisingly, the legendaries don't play a big role in this story.
Yeah, they really don't. I was really hoping that they'd play a bigger role in the Path of Legends.
Mm-hmm.
No.
And that by the end of the Path of Legends, we would have the legendary.
I actually loved it. It was refreshing. I didn't have to... There was no save the world plot. It was just me on this adventure, and there was no, this Pokemon created time and space, we must stop it. You know, and whatever the hell was going on with Sun and Moon, I don't even know. No, it was just
it was basically an alien invasion.
Yeah,
but
yeah, like,
which is actually kind of what was going on this time too, actually.
Well, to a point, but you never felt it. You never felt like the region was in trouble.
Yeah.
Which is...
I say it's a positive and a negative, right? Because I feel like the first half of the game, or honestly, maybe the first like 75% of the game, I'm completely fine with that feeling, right? But there has to be some stakes in the story. And while they did kind of drop it at the end, they kind of completed both like Act 2 and 3 at the same time at the end of the game. They
did dump it all at the end, and God, Area Zero was a mess. I did not like it.
I liked the idea. What I thought was going to happen was we're going to get down there and we're going to find either a kind of like preserved eco-structure of like the old era.
I also thought that's what it was going to be.
Or it was going to be like some sort of like time rift based on the device from Kalos. Like they're gonna bring in some some live references, right? But I was also trying to think, it's like, well, how the hell are they gonna try to do a story like that with Violet, whose whole storyline is, you know, I say storyline, or like their aesthetic is the future, right? And so I kind of had the idea of like there may be time travel, and I'm like, oh, what if the past and future are colliding? That's interesting. But no, we didn't get any of that.
My thoughts when going through Area Zero, I had two thoughts. I had I want a goddamn bicycle because my current bicycle refuses to come out.
Yeah, no, okay, so that's actually something that I kind of like.
Let me finish my second thing first.
Okay.
Because I wanted a goddamn bicycle because walking around was so slow in that huge area, which was pretty much a Xenoblade area. But the other issue was don't crash. The graphics here look like shit. Don't crash. I don't want the game to crash right now.
They look like shit?
For me, it did.
This game is definitely not the prettiest game I've ever seen.
Like, every other area in the game was fine, but in that area, everything looked worse.
Yeah, I think I like the aesthetic that the Pokemon games have had, but they've never really have gone and completely refined them. Like, there are times where I do feel like I am playing on a 3DS game more than a new generation game.
Game Freaks foray into 3D graphics has not been good.
See, I only noticed the game particularly struggling when there was like a weather going on, like sandstorms, blizzard, thunderstorms.
Mm-hmm.
Those were particularly bad. And when I was in the ocean, because for the water distortion thing didn't like to exist.
Now, I will say that I was playing handheld, and maybe if you're playing on the TV, things might look a little better, but I don't know the technical term for the issue I was having, but basically, instead of everything having defined edge lines, I just saw pixels going in and out.
Oh, tearing.
I had tearing everywhere.
Yeah.
It made everything look. It made everything look awful.
Yeah.
That may have been a screen resolution thing.
I didn't have tearing. I had frame rate issues.
I had tearing issues.
Yeah, the biggest problem with the Pokemon style in general is it's so unrefined. Like, I think the stylistic choice that they decided to go with is really cool, but they really need to actually sit down and refine it.
Please.
Of course, that can fall underneath the line of unoptimized, but yeah, we're talking spoilers in game, so that's a whole different dialogue.
So let's talk about the fact that the professor's dead.
Right. Well, before we jump into that, I just want to real quick when we were talking about the Xenoblade thing, and how we were walking around with our friends, and they started talking to each other while we were walking.
My God.
I hated that.
I had Pokemon chasing me. There was no voice.
Huh?
I had Pokemon chasing me while they're talking to me.
Exactly.
And you can't do anything.
Because it was auto-scrolling through dialogue while I couldn't even stop and read it because I was still in the overworld avoiding Pokemon and trying to progress.
Yeah.
So
nowhere in the game is the lack of voice acting so obviously bad.
So on the voice acting issue, it wasn't really a problem until here, but
right there is when it was, oh my God, this needed to be voice acted.
When Sword and Shield,
I wonder what they talked about.
When Sword and Shield wasn't voice acted, that was one of my biggest criticisms. But in the years between then and me kind of accepting the fact that Game Freak's not gonna produce a perfect game, that they're not gonna produce a great game.
No game company is ever going to produce a perfect game, right? But there is expectations for jumping from a handheld game.
Yes, but after seeing what they did with Scarlet and Violet, and now 3 years later, I had come to terms. I had accepted that Game Freak's just not going to meet expectations on a lot of fronts, including voice acting. So when I found out this game didn't have voice acting, I was disappointed, but it was no longer a deal breaker because I accepted it. But
yeah, I was disappointed, but I wasn't surprised.
Exactly. But there were definitely moments in like cutscenes where like that moment with Nimona saying we are champions and they're here to see us. That was great. It would have been 10 times better with voice acting.
Right.
But especially here you really needed voice acting for that. Okay. So yeah.
This is gonna be probably needs to be its own conversation or podcast or whatever. But this is something I am gonna throw out there. I do feel like fans have given Game Freak too much of a pass with some of their titles.
Okay, so I completely agree. But at the exact same time, it means nothing.
Yeah.
Because Sword and Shield had the biggest boycott of any Pokemon game, and it meant nothing. And once I found that out, I just had to accept that the passes are going to happen.
I feel like in order to get through to Game Freak or to Nintendo, mainly Nintendo here, right? It's gonna take more than one game for real change to actually like take place. And not to say like that all the employees at Game Freak or whatnot are, you know, doing a terrible job or whatnot. Clearly, their time constraints are way too harsh. And I can only imagine the amount of crunch time they had to put in to even get what we got functioning.
So I want to make it clear for the listeners that we here are not blaming the employees at Game Freak for any of this because A, it's a team effort. B, video games are hard, and C, time crunched. Like you mentioned, time crunch is real.
Yeah.
And something you also may not realize is they actually had to split their development team to make Arceus as well.
Yeah, and that's a lot of these decisions are typically management issues, right? But like they should have realized that by splitting their team and working on 2 different Pokemon games, that was going to cause a lot of issues.
Well, it seems like Sword and Shield, some aspects of Sword and Shield, mainly with the wild area, and it was expanded with concepts in Arceus, and we can see some of the aspects of Arceus being a testing ground for this game. I really feel like it'll all pay off in the Gen 10 game.
Yeah.
I feel like that game will be truly what we want.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, unless it's a return to a more linear form, and maybe they alternate between linear and open world.
Shut
ambitious.
that thinking down. No, we cannot go back.
Well, there is a certain appeal to linear gameplay.
There is. So what I'll say is that I'm kind of in agreement, right, when it comes to the linear style for Pokemon games, but at the same time, I think both could really do well for the games, if that makes sense.
I'll just say that for games like this like Pokemon, where it wants me to explore and collect things, and it has RPG elements, I prefer an open world for that.
Yeah. They also need to put a correct story to it, because this game would have benefited more from like a linear storytelling than an open world.
And I'll say this I do enjoy linear storytelling. I'm a huge advocate that horror games are better linear than open world, but that's a whole other conversation. Anyway, okay, let's get to the actual story bits of the end game. Like, the professor is fucking dead.
Yeah, which, I mean, is something that I saw coming.
I didn't see it coming.
Not from the beginning, but definitely by the time that, definitely by the time that I got to the end of the Path of Legend, I was pretty sure that I was talking to an AI or something.
I figured I was talking to an AI when it became obvious because the program started stuttering in that one scene.
Yeah. I had my suspicions a bit early on because I noticed a huge, like, lack of absence from the professor, / no one was talking about them whatsoever.
It's really weird to not have a professor, especially when we had two different professors, and one of the reasons I got Scarlet was for Sada. And then she wasn't in it, so that kind of ticks me off.
Yeah, that was kind of a rug pull.
Yeah.
They're like, we have two different professors, and they're pretty much just not in the game until the very, very, very end. And
so it really did come down to which ride Pokemon did you want.
Yeah. And for me, I prefer the futuristic stuff over the prehistoric stuff, which, you know, don't get me wrong, I love dinosaurs and whatnot, but, you know, Seda. And she's in there for, what, 15 minutes?
And it's technically not even her.
Yeah, it's not even her. It's some fucking perfectly modeled robot for whatever fucking reason.
So
yeah, that's just vanity.
So she built a time machine that just tosses Pokeballs in the past and brings them back, or in DJ's case, the future. I'm assuming.
Yeah, pretty much. Yep, that you nailed it.
Yeah. So, well,
that's kind of neat.
Sorry, go ahead.
I will say when she starts to battle you and she just the professor just catches a Master Ball that came from the past and just tosses it. I'm like, okay, that was kind of badass.
I love how her entire team is just in fucking Master Balls. Like, Jesus Christ, lady.
Is this the first time we've ever had the word dead used in Pokemon?
Yeah, you know, probably. There have been allusions to death, but
I don't know. There might be a Pokedex entry somewhere that talks about it in, like, the American games.
Maybe.
Maybe.
But yeah.
This has definitely been. I think this has been the first, like, human death that has been talked about in a Pokemon game.
Caused by a Pokemon, of all things.
Right?
Yeah. So Arvin.
Orphan.
These are Arvin's parents, and I liked Arvin from the beginning because he was rude to me, and I'm like, yes, please, I want a rude rival because I have missed having a rival be a dick. I don't know why I just think sometimes your rival should be mean.
Oh yeah, they should scream "smell you later" and leave you in the dust.
Yeah.
No,
I love you guys. It's just like, yes, talk down to me.
Don't or do read into that anyway.
Yeah.
But I liked Arvin, and I liked helping him on his quest, and that's why the Titan quest like spoke to me, because I liked Arvin from the beginning. I can also easily see why you don't, but I liked it, and to see his growth throughout, and especially after you defeat the professor, and they're depressingly walking out, and they're like, hey, let's go, on an adventure home, and he's like, really, we're gonna, and he kind of gets pushed into it, like, oh, all right, I guess I have friends now, like, I don't know, I just kind of like,
yeah, that was cute. Why couldn't that have been the whole game?
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, one of the minor expectations I kind of had for this game was that these schools were going to be rivals.
Yeah,
and
rival schools should have been a thing.
And these professors would have been kind of going at it, and you would have been caught in the crossfire. And whichever game that you had picked is kind of the side you had picked.
Imagine if instead of like Team Star, you just fought rivals throughout the map. From the rival school. Man,
I think both would have been completely fine.
Yeah, on that note, I wonder why they even bothered with two different schools.
I don't know. No, I just hate that I'm stuck wearing like these red shorts when I would like to wear purple.
It's literally just to make it feel like you didn't just buy practically the same game with a bit of color difference.
But I mean, you did though. That's exactly what happened.
That's exactly what we did.
Yeah. No, that's exactly what it is. But it's to make you feel like you did it.
I guess. Okay.
Like pretty much the only difference is the legendary and the paradox Pokemon.
Okay, so
and I guess like 12 other Pokemon that are version exclusive, but
so we need to wrap it up. We've been talking for an hour and 50 minutes.
Yeah, well, you guys really like to ramble on.
No. We've had discussions, which is the point.
Yeah.
And I've had a lot of fun talking about it because I liked the game. Yes. And I'm going to complete the Pokédex. I'm just going to, and I'm looking forward to DLC and whenever Pokemon Home becomes available.
I'm gonna complete the Pokédex too, considering I've got less than 20 left.
Yeah, right. No, I feel like this game, all in all, is a step in the right direction.
Yes,
they
totally.
Really need to nail down the story and...
Well, I mean, because it was an open world games tend to kind of suffer story-wise.
They do.
Yeah, that's not my problem. It's just the fact that it's a school, open world school setting.
Yeah, that really was kind of an odd choice, huh?
Yeah, that's my only complaint with that. I feel like it could have worked. Like, if they've, I don't know, taken, like, maybe the Hogwarts, like, idea, right? But, hindsight 2020, whatever. This game is a step in the right direction. I'm curious to see what actual time and refinement would do for the next title.
Yes. Like I mentioned before, I think Sword and Shield, Arceus, this game, it's all building towards a better vision of Pokemon.
Kind of like Dark Souls, Elden Ring, that whole shebang.
Yeah. All of their experiences built towards Elden Ring.
Yeah.
For better.
Hashtag bring back Mega Evolution.
Oh, please. I would. So.
Who doesn't like Mega Evolution? I don't know why they're not bringing that back. It even stuck around for multiple generations. And then they're just like, nah, never mind. We're going to start making something new every generation.
Which, I understand and feel like that's kind of a waste of.
They don't need to though, and also these last two gimmicks have been region specific, which is weird and kind of jarring.
I think it's cool that we get like region specific stuff.
Yeah, I'm kind of fine with that.
But at the same time, I feel like there also should be a uniform thing across the games. Like maybe Mega Evolution be the main thing, but say you want to mix things up with like Z moves or the Tellers, whatever the crystal forms are called in this game.
Terrestrial.
Yeah, terrestrial forms.
Ironically, the parade float hats didn't bother me as much as I thought they would.
Yeah, you kind of get used to them. Although I do really hate how whenever you use a move that's the same type as the terrestrial move, it takes a little bit longer to come out because it's like, hey, look at my hat glowing, and then it uses the move.
Oh, so I don't know if any of you noticed, but whenever you would use a move and it missed, you could tell the moment you clicked the move.
Because no animation played.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I could also tell whenever I was confused and was about to hit myself because when it says that they're confused, instead of it saying that they used a move and then the animation playing, it would show them making a random attack animation and then saying they hit themselves. The attack animation happens before the text if you hit yourself in confusion.
But specifically, whenever I would click the move and it missed, there was always like a slight delay before it actually did anything. And I picked up on it, and every single time a move missed, I knew because of that split second like lag it had.
Yeah, not being able to turn off battle animations.
Why? Yeah.
Like, I always play with them on anyway, but yeah, I agree. Also, you can't set the battle style to shift, or set rather. It's always set to shift.
Yeah.
And a lot of other little things like that.
It's just weird stuff that they forgot to include in the game, and I wonder if it was because of time constraints or if they felt like this is how the game should have been played.
I have to feel it's time constraints.
No, I feel like that these were intentional removals.
Okay. And
I sit both ways, right? Where I can see it being time constraints, or they couldn't get it working, and so instead of like having broken stuff, they just removed it until they can maybe re-implement it later on with a patch or whatnot. Or if they felt that, hey, we're just gonna go ahead and simplify everything and just have it be this way.
Okay, so I think we're done here for now. So if you're listening past the spoiler section and you haven't played the game, I recommend you play the game. Do you guys agree?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
It does have issues, but overall, it's probably been one of the better experiences from Pokemon in a long time.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, it's definitely got potential to be the best Pokemon game. It just needs a little bit more time in the oven. Hopefully, a few more patches in. Then people. Of course, it'll be too late for us by then. But hopefully, people who get it on Christmas and install the month number 2 patch. Hopefully, they have a nice, smooth, and amazing experience.
Okay. Well,
I'm hoping that the first DLC for the game is like you going to Kalos and it's like year 2 of your school year and whatnot, and maybe they can roll a lot of those updates with that DLC.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
Okay, so
one thing I would really like to see is I'd really like to see Team Star actually come back to school.
Same.
Okay, so This has been a podcast about Pokemon, an unnamed Pokemon podcast. I don't know if that'll stick. I have been Secret Agent P, and you can find me here. DJ, can you be found anywhere?
Not really at the moment.
Okay.
I don't make content.
Okay. Right.
If you play D&D, I am on the D&D Beyond forums. That's where you can find me.
And what is your tag there?
Oh, DXJXC.
Okay. So
Yeah.
so and you're on there a lot, so you can be found there. Rylot, where can you be found?
Everywhere. Under the tag Shadow of Rage.
Shadow of Rage.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Okay.
Be my YouTube, be my Twitter, my Twitch, my yeah, that's all I got.
Okay. Well, it's been fun. It's been a fun 2 hours, and we definitely need to do more of these. I enjoyed it. I'll talk to you guys later, and I'll see you on the flip side.
All right, later.
Wires.